Gregor, how would you sum that game up?
Well, it had everything, didn't it? He had very good attack, breakaway tries, some really good defence at times, and yellow and red cards. So you don't normally get a game where it's 14 against 12, and sometimes that is difficult for the team that's got 14 or 15 against 12 for a period. But I felt the players' communication was really good on the field. Second half, they were very professional in what they had to do and were patient. The space was there to exploit, and then when we did find that space, we had some players finishing off great tries.
And it was a good atmosphere in here this afternoon, and I'm sure the crowd really enjoyed what was an entertaining encounter.
Oh, I can imagine. It was like a really competitive fixture the first half, and even when we went a man up, Argentina scored just before half time, so that was a warning shot for us that just because you've got one man advantage, you still need to play the rugby that sees you winning, which is running hard, getting to the contacts, and then executing your skills. But it was really pleasing to see the backs get involved more on ball this week. We were worried with the weather and the wet pitch that we might not be able to move the ball that much, but the guys did that really well, and like Darcy, Sione, Duan and Stuart Hogg finished off their tries well. Finn was excellent at creating opportunities and taking on the defence where it was at its weakest.
Are you pleased with the real sort of depth of squad now going into 2023, because it really does seem to have been built up over the last few months?
Yeah, we are, and we didn't make many changes this week. I think there were just 2 enforced changes, and we really wanted to give that team that played so well against New Zealand another opportunity and build cohesion. But we know there's a few players that missed out in selection that would have played really well today. So there is a lot of competition, probably in every position in our team. But you need that. You need strong benches to come on the field and make an impact. You need to cover when we have injuries, because there are always injuries in our sport. So that was pleasing today, that our bench did do really well when they came on, brought lots of energy. And we finished this year having probably had another 10-20% added to our depth. Last season was 19 new caps, and I think we maybe had 2 or 3 since then. So there'll be a lot of competition for Six Nations and also into the World Cup.
How would you sum up the Autumn Nation Series as a whole? Say 2 wins and 2 very close defeats. So are you pleased with where you're at going into the new year?
In some aspects, yes. We talked about being more consistent, and I feel we were definitely consistent during those 4 games. We were tough to beat. We came with our whisker of beating Australia, and that game being outside the window, it wasn't our strongest team that we could put out, but we did enough to win that game. Fiji, a solid win. New Zealand, we showed what we can do when we play our best rugby, and today we put away a dangerous opponent. So consistency is important. We have to be not just tough to beat, but also a nightmare to play against with the threats we have in attack. And over the last couple of weeks, and Australia game too, we've shown we're capable of that.
And just finally, what would you like to say to the supporters who have turned up in their thousands over the last 4 weeks? In fact, over 250,000 over the Autumn Nation Series.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's one thing coming along to the game, which we're incredibly appreciative of and grateful for, but it's the atmosphere they create. When we arrive an hour and a half before kick-off, thousands of supporters are there to welcome us. It gives us a huge boost. Then you get the anthems, then you get the noise during the game. And it's brilliant to see that connection. Like I talk about it all the time with our players. We're living through a special period now with the national team, getting these big crowds, but also seeing that connection between the crowd and our team and our players. So we're going to make the most of it. We've got 3 home games in the Six Nations, so that'll be great for us, knowing that they're likely to be sellouts, and that'll give us a boost that really helps us in these big games.